name is Rod Scales, and I live in Highlands North, which is in the area of Coit and Campbell.
Do you have a favorite park? If so, what is it?
Well, my favorite park would be the Arboretum, because I mean it's a beautiful park. It's a fabulous asset to Dallas, and you know, the amount of effort that the city puts into it, which means money, creates a really wonderful park area. You know, it's serene, it's peaceful, it's colorful, it's well maintained, it's imaginative, it's hilly, it's got the water, you know, it's got everything more or less. And but the dilemma is it's like 10 miles away, so I don't go there too often. I have a neighborhood park that's 5 minutes away, which is convenient, but it's basically just a green space. That's not what I would call a park. You know, a park needs to be defined. What is a park? And a park to me is not a playing field, it's not a recreational center, it's not a golf course. I mean, those are all important categories, but a park to me is a quiet place that's shady, pleasant, somewhere to sit and, you know, to meditate or read or meet your neighbors. And I don't see that in Dallas, sadly.
And that gave just a little bit, just so everyone knows, where in the city is the Dallas Arboretum located?
The Dallas Arboretum is down by White Rock Lake, so it's northeast of downtown, and was started about the time I came here in 1978 as the DeGoyler estate, and the city has invested heavily in it. And I mean, it's now, I don't know where it ranks, this sounds silly, but in the world, as arboretums go, I mean, you know, there's fabulous ones in Vancouver and in England, and really I think now the Dallas one ranks right up there with them, but sadly it's just one place, and everywhere else in Dallas you see no color in the parks at all.
And you kind of just talked a little bit about it, but what makes the Arboretum unique?
Well, what makes it unique is the investment in it, basically. I mean, it's the investment in money and time and effort and interest. And you just, I mean, anytime you go there, there are thousands of people there walking through it, enjoying it, you know, with children, old people, everybody. I mean, you can just tell by the activity there that it's a wonderful, lovely place, you know, but I realize it's an incredible investment, and you're not going to have that everywhere around the city. I mean, I realize that.
And how would you describe the Arboretum to someone who's never been there?
It has annual changes of color, frequent, intense annual changes of color. It has areas that are, I'll call them perennial, like a mist garden, for example, that simulates a forest environment. They have interesting artistic exhibits now and again. I can't remember the name of the artist, but the one with the fabulous glass ornaments, that's a world-renowned artist. I mean, that was a hell of a display. I mean, we went several times with that, took friends there. But the uniqueness, really, I think, is just in the amount of investment that the city put into it. And so, you know, it's definitely an asset to Dallas, no question.
Could you describe the memory you have of this place?
Of the Arboretum?
Yes, of the Arboretum.
Well, obviously, the pleasant memories. I mean, the colorful memories. I didn't mention, you know, they also have an experimental nursery area for identifying different plants that will survive better in our difficult climate. But yeah, I mean, it's just, the memories are just of being in a very nice place, a peaceful place, a colorful place. It's welcoming.
How could the Arboretum be improved?
Well, I don't think it should be, honestly. I mean, you could make it bigger, but don't do that. I mean, it's got all sorts of different interest areas there now. And I really think that any further investment should be in other park areas, honestly. I mean, it's other than maybe more parking. I mean, that's not really what you're after, I realize. But I mean, that just goes to show how popular it is that they don't have enough parking spaces.
Yeah. So kind of leading into that, what do you think about Dallas parks overall?
Sad. Unimpressive. Lacking in the budget to do anything. And as Sandy Grayson said, you know, I mean, it used to be you would in some parks see flowers and color. Don't see any of that now. So I mean, you know, I mean, I drive by so-called parks that are just green patches of grass. I mean, that's stupid. That's ridiculous. That's not a park. It's an excuse. And you know, to say we've got 380 parks in Dallas is a joke. We don't. You know, we've got one. It's the Arboretum, and we've got a few also-rans, and the rest are just patches of weeds. And there's been no commitment or investment to make any of those any better. And we've got a tree bank, you know, from when developers develop, they donate money for trees that they cannot replace because of what they're building. And we've got a tree bank that's got loads of trees in there, and they don't have the money to plant them in the parks. So I'm not impressed, sorry. Can't give you a positive on that, except for the Arboretum.
How could Dallas parks then be improved?
They need to set aside the money, the capital improvement money, to do it, not just hard things, concrete things, but for plants. And then they need to set aside a budget for maintenance. And, you know, that's usually where it falls down. Money is not set aside for maintenance. So as Sandy said, stuff gets built that looks nice, or irrigation, and it's not maintained, and it fails. It's ridiculous. So it's a waste of money. It needs to change. You know, we think we're a world-class city, and we're not. You know, with things like that, they're an embarrassment, really.
And what are your hopes for the future of Dallas's parks?
Well, the hopes for the future would be, as I said, for the money to be set aside for capital improvements and for maintenance. They need to get a horticultural department that knows about plants. You know, they have that at the Arboretum, but I don't get the impression that that experience and knowledge is utilized anywhere else in the city. And I mean, that's really what needs to be done. You know, and no one wants their taxes raised, so I understand the dilemma. I don't have a good answer. I mean, that's the answer, but how do you get there? I don't know.
Last question. What would be your ideal park?
Well, the ideal park to me is somewhere that's green, it's maintained, it looks interesting. You know, it's pleasing to the eye. It's got trails of some kind. You know, whether they're concrete or wood chips, whatever. That's got color. That means annual plants, it means perennials, it means shrubs. Crepe myrtles are fabulous trees for here. They're like weeds, but they're very hardy and they're colorful. Everybody likes them. And definitely, above all, big trees for shade. Because who wants to go sit out in a park or sit on a park bench in the blazing sun in the summer? I mean, that's Dallas. I mean, you know, we understand that. And we need the trees. You know, I'd give an example. I was up in Frisco the other day, and there I'm driving along a 4 or 6 lane artery within Frisco, farmers' fields on both sides of the roads, and trees are planted in the median. Obviously thinking that in 5 years' time it'll be full of houses on either side, and the trees will be fairly mature. You know, that's planning, and God help us, we can't seem to get there in Dallas.